sorry about that.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sure everybody will hear me anyhow. I wanted to first apologize for any part that I took in last week's meeting in the mob role, as in we didn't accomplish a whole lot. There were a lot of things that needed to be heard and said and didn't get done because of it. And my hyper attitude for part of it as well. So I'm going to try something a little different today. First, I wanted to ask if the 911 service is a done deal. Has that been voted on and it's starting and that's all there is to it?
Not been voted on.
It's not been voted on. Well,
It's not funded though.
I'm sorry?
It's not funded though.
It's not funded. I wanted to ask anybody in the audience, even for that matter, have you ever been in your living room and 7 shots come off up your street and the last one hits the wall 2 doors down from your house? When you get to the door, the person you see walking in, the person you see right outside your door is the shooter. He's getting in the car. Well, let me tell you what a 911 call like that would be. Because I know what it was for the dispatcher that I talked to. I couldn't speak. It was, car, shootings, and they knew exactly who I was, they knew exactly where I was, and they were there in no time at all. Anybody else know what it's like to have your house shot? When you wake up in the middle of the night because there's a shot goes off and literally shakes you out of bed, you get down the stairs and you watch the police officers do work for a good half an hour to an hour. They're in prone position at one of your neighbor's houses because that's where they believe the shots came from. Nobody finds anything. To get up the next morning to find, oh wait, there's a hole in my wall, and wait, it went from through my wall, through the siding, through the drywall, the plaster, and everything else, and it ended up, in my mantle. It's 1:30 in the morning. Had I been awake and wandered around because I couldn't sleep, I might not be here to be telling you that the dispatch call that time was, oh yeah, well remember the bullet you couldn't find last night? I found it, and my language was not very nice and I had to apologize to the dispatcher the next morning. So, I can tell you in my own personal experience, I take these dispatchers any day. As I mentioned last time, I called from work as a first responder and gotten, please hold. So I really hope you guys will consider this. It's not a matter of life, it is a matter of life or death when it comes to you or your loved ones. And I hope you guys will think about it twice, I really do. The other thing I wanted to ask about was, and I'm not sure you guys are ready to discuss this yet because it's part of the agenda, and we can talk about it then, was if you had gone through the banks, I was told that after last week's meeting that you had to have a balanced budget. And therefore, that's why, but then the tax bills couldn't go out until you had a balanced budget, which you couldn't have a balanced budget until you had the funds. Is that correct? Am I wrong? I was wondering how the tax bills went out.
We have a balanced budget.
Nothing to do with the.
Answer your question.
Okay.
Two separate.
Okay, that's what I misunderstood part of that. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I address that 9/11? I don't think it's a secret to anybody that doesn't know how I feel about 9/11. It's ridiculous. We got the best service in the country. And, the council decided as a money-saving, movement, let's put it that way, that this was the only way. And I'll just tell you this, I would vote against it because I oppose 9/11 because of what we've been through. The council knows that. Council knows my feelings 100% on this. And as far as I'm concerned, I would never get rid of our service. Not only because of the jobs, which were primary, but because of the job they do in assistance in other public safety matters and in other matters that concern our public in general. Now, sometimes you gotta, bite the bullet and go for the better things. Now, council, the budget that was passed includes 9/11 dispatching being deleted. I gave them a budget earlier. They voted on the budget that they had this time. my budget including keeping 9/11 and all kind of other maybe radical things like cutting everybody's salary.
Your budget included keeping 9/11?
Definitely.
Keeping our own dispatch.
Thank you.
Keeping our dispatchers,
Thank you.
rather, no, not keeping 9/11, I'm sorry, I misstated that. Keeping the dispatchers, and it's the jobs, not only with us concerned with, but the public themselves, the safety of the public, which I'll always act on. And I was here the day, what was his name, Matt McGill, or whatever his name was, started 9/11 over right in that community room here with a bunch of chiefs and all that, and this started. This was the 74%, 74-cent payment that each community has to give up, and now it's $1. But regardless, if you're asking me as mayor in charge of public safety, if you're asking me, and you're asking the public out there like Mr. Rutger who's smiling over, I know he's for 9/11, but I'd like to know what his thoughts are.
Mr. Mayor.
Anytime, yes, sir.
Mayor, we
It's an
want to
open discussion now.
go,
Okay,
it's not
no
up again.
discussion, but I just wanted to make my point. You
Yes,
all
sir.
know how I feel about it. I voted for keeping dispatchers on, no layoffs. We got the $500,000 because of inner workings between some of us, and there we go.
Sir,
We're not-
Can I,
Go ahead.
I had to do the 911 thing, I don't know
We're-
the public speakers.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the public speakers,
Okay,
then we're gonna do new business, and when the new business is done, then we'll take questions.
all right, let's have to piggyback on the 911.
Fair enough.
Okay, 2 or 3. Donna?